Cambridge Insider Podcast time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cambridge Insider Podcast. Today's episode is proudly brought to you by LaSalle College Preparatory, which is located 20 minutes away from Los Angeles on a beautiful and safe suburban campus in the city of Pasadena. The school offers 24 AP courses, 13 honors courses, and a series of medical terminology courses that students can receive college credits from Pasadena City College. Our counselors, teachers, and mentors work closely with every student to ensure their success throughout the four-year high school career, both academically and socially. In addition, LaSalle College Prep offers countless opportunities for students to compete in 24 sports, as well as exciting clubs and co-curricular activities. Every year, our students are accepted into Ivy League schools and other top-notch colleges to continue their education. We follow our motto of learn, serve, and lead and teach our students to become true global citizens. At LaSalle, beyond preparing students for college, we prepare them for life. What are you waiting for? Come join our Lancer family. So that's LaSalle College Prep. As per usual, my co-host joining me, Meg. How is Florida this beautiful morning?
Hi, Stephen. Florida is fantastic. It is fantastic. It's like shorts and sweater weather.
Shorts and sweater weather. I think you can only get that in Florida.
we can sit by, the fire pit with our flip-flops. It's absolutely perfect. Yes.
Amazing. So the
Yeah,
students that are listening to this that are looking for shorts and sweater weather, Meg and the Florida area, we've got some great schools in that area. Be sure to shoot Meg a note. And then we have an old friend of the Cambridge Insider podcast who rejoins us. And I'm sure it won't be the last time because he's a very popular guest. Mr. Stephen Glaspie, how are you?
I'm doing great. Definitely not flip-flop weather up here in Chicago, Illinois. We we are finally feeling that winter cold come in, but still waiting for our first big snow of the year.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, don't dare to go out in Chicago in shorts and flip-flops in the month of December. You might lose some limbs. So
Exactly.
specifically, we have Stephen on, on this episode because we do want to address and we do want to talk about some of our students, Cambridge students that would be staying in the US over this Christmas period. Traditionally, it's a period where some dormitories close, host families sometimes tend to travel. Schools are most certainly closed for at least a week, if not 2 weeks. And we know that we have, many students that do remain in the US. Stephen, a couple questions about this because we want to, enlighten not only our schools, but also our students and families, of course, on some of the do's and don'ts. So I think I'm going to kick things off by just asking, this year in particular, are we seeing more or less or pretty much the same amount of students remaining in the US during this period?
By far we're seeing more.
Okay.
Typically, the Christmas holiday would be kind of a chance for students to go back home, but unfortunately, there's still quarantines that exist in China, still a lot of protocols that have to happen in other countries. So most of our students this year are choosing to stay put because it's just not worth going through all of that to return home and maybe get to see their family for a day, and then they have to be back here in the U.S. So it's
Yes,
definitely a big change.
absolutely. Sounds like a smart decision. Take us through that, just in general, for those that don't know, for a student staying here. School closes, for the typical American domestic kid, that maybe means a vacation, some family time. What does it typically mean for our students? How do they work through this period? What is a day in the life of, if you will?
Yeah, well, it really varies student to student. We're seeing lots of host families and students planning trips together. So the student can experience another part of the US. Some students unfortunately still have to get ready for finals that may happen after Christmas. So they're really using that time off to prepare and study. Some are choosing to take extra tutoring through us or others to get a leg up and get ahead a little bit over the holidays. And some students are, choosing to just rest and relax during that time. I think this is a great time for everyone to kind of reset. For hosts to build, some stronger relationships with the students and really embrace the time that they have together and show them what Christmas is like here, because a lot of our students in the past never really got to experience Christmas in the US because they were heading home. So now I think this is a great opportunity for hosts to show students the true magic of Christmas and well, not just Christmas, but the holiday season here in the United States.
Absolutely. And I know Meg's dying to ask you a couple of questions. Meg, I got one more for Steve, and then I promise I'm going to give it over to you. Steve, you mentioned a couple of things there that Cambridge plays a role in. This is an opportunity for students maybe that need a little additional sort of academic support to certainly work on that. And our academic services department is, a big advocate for using this time wisely and can offer great services for those kids. You also mentioned travel potentially, and I know that that's something that Cambridge does a lot of in terms of coordinating travel through students, making sure that they have the right permissions to travel, be that by themselves or with families, or to go and visit potentially families somewhere else in the US. What else is Cambridge doing, during this period in terms of how we support or facilitate some of our kids and what they're doing?
Yeah, so during this time, we're really using the extra time, checking in on the students, giving ideas to host, because just as you can imagine, we take time off during the holidays to be with our own families. So we're really giving host tools for making the most out of this time. Also, a lot of SDMs, student development managers, they are using this time to send out Christmas cards, to plan fun Christmas activities for students in their area, and really trying to get them to see and experience the holiday season.
Awesome. Meg, all yours. I know you've got a couple of questions that you also want to hear from Steve.
So for kids who are here over the holidays and didn't have any plans and really haven't thought things through, are we offering any programs that they can get involved in during that time, and maybe even get something that they can take forward?
Yeah, we actually have some programs that we've been putting together. So, obviously we have our wonderful tutoring programs, SAT prep programs that students can opt into. We've also put together a 3-week student leadership cohort program, especially geared towards dorm students, but also any student that is looking to boost their leadership skills could get involved in this.
That sounds fantastic. And then what are some suggestions that you might have for not only for students who are here, but also for host families, and how they might be able to celebrate some of these holiday traditions, something simple that they might be able to get involved in?
Right. One of the coolest things I did with my students in the past was just having a movie night together. Now, this was prior, when COVID was really, we were really shut down, but we did it on Zoom, and it was great. Even though we were in separate homes, we were together, and we watched a holiday movie together and made popcorn. And, a lot of our students haven't experienced some of these classic holiday movies that we all know and love. So, holiday movies, decorating the tree together, I find that the students really love being a part of the process, getting the house decorated, bring them into the family. I encourage hosts, get them a little gift or something wrapped up so that they can experience Christmas Day with your family and have a gift to open up on Christmas Day. Typically in Asia, I mean, obviously Christmas is there, people hear about it, but it's not to the level that we have Christmas here. And definitely the traditions that we have here don't exist. And so also every family has their own traditions, whether it's Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, that comes with a lot of really rich, great traditions. Educate the students, use that time to bring them into your family life and give them that memory that they can carry forever.
And that's such an essential part of just sort of growing. We talk often about global citizens and about, sort of facilitating these students to become global citizens. For our host families, that's just as important, really creating that understanding of what is Christmas like in Southeast Asia? What do you guys celebrate? This is how we do things. Yeah, sharing those ideas and becoming more of a global citizen. So I just love those ideas that you've put forward there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also, sorry, to add on just quickly, I just wanted to to say too, another great thing that we offer and that is a good opportunity for students too, is the fact that they can be part of, they are part of our Cambridge network. So with that comes the ability to travel. We have hosts across the US. So one cool thing we've seen this year is students being able to finally really take advantage of that. And, like we have some students this year from Boston traveling to stay with host in New York City. And that's a really cool opportunity too. We have students who may go down to Florida, if they want warmer weather because they're living in the north. We have the ability to give students opportunities to visit new places over the holidays as well.
That's great. That's actually a wonderful opportunity. And it just reminded me that you actually spent several years overseas, right? So what advice might you have for our students, because you've lived far away and experienced other cultures' huge celebrations, and also you've been gone from your home during those celebrations. So do you have any advice for kids who might feel a little bit disconnected at that point?
I would say, one, use the time to reconnect with your families. The time off, over the Christmas holidays, that was a time when I was living abroad for me to regroup, reconnect, make some more time. I would always get so busy living abroad that sometimes I wasn't checking in with family as much. So reconnect with your families. It was also a time I always used to explore. So, we always got a break when I lived abroad over Christmas. And that was a time where I would travel and explore new countries and meet new people. So definitely explore. But number one, go into the holidays with an open mind. This is a chance for you as students to learn about one of the, in my opinion, most special times of year in the United States. And I think most Americans look forward to this time of year and the magic and the lights and the music and the movies. Really open your hearts and minds and take it all in, because it's something that's magical and you can carry with you for the rest of your life.
Great advice. Great advice. I hope we have some students with keen ears that are listening to this, because we have a man who experienced this firsthand. Steve, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you've been incredibly busy this week. We've been involved in some cases together, so I know it's been a hectic week. We do appreciate you jumping in on the podcast. A final question from my side. Any final thoughts or ideas that you want to share during this time, that you think are important, or anything that you sort of want to say to our audience with regards to this topic?
Just truly enjoy the holidays together. It's been a rough, we first thought year, now it's been over a year. I think the holidays are just such a great time for us to come together, students and hosts, to learn more about each other. I say to the host, take the time to slow down, learn more about the student in your home. And for the students, learn more about the families that are taking care of you, and really come together, connect, and bond during this time. That would be my advice.
Awesome. Meg, any final thoughts from a warm Christmas in Florida? Any final things that you want to share with regards to this?
I think that it's Christmas, which is such deep meaning, and also such a time of joy and kindness and giving. And those things are something that we should try to be celebrating every day. And I really encourage the kids to take the opportunities to explore, to travel if they'd like to, and to make the most of their time. Stephen gave great examples and great suggestions and a lot of empathy for what the holidays are going to be like.
Yeah, and I would also really encourage too, just what you were just saying just made me think too. Please, if students are listening, please check in with your schools. We still, we keep mentioning travel, and I think it's, something that would be wonderful for students, but we are still in a pandemic. We can't forget that. So each school has their own policies, procedures. Cambridge has our own travel policies. So for any students listening out there, please do make sure to check in with your school officials, know what their policies are on this, know how they expect you to travel safely. Everyone has their own, maybe you have to get tested before and after, or you have to report your flights to the school. Just make sure that during this time, take advantage of what you have available, but do it in a safe manner, and check in with your schools and your SDMs as well if you're in the Cambridge network.
Great advice. And very, very important these days, because the protocols all are changing constantly, I think, not only within states, but within schools, within cities and communities. So that's really something important. Oh, and bring your vaccination card if you are vaccinated. In so many places, that is your ticket literally for entrance into restaurants, into movies, into so many different venues.
Exactly.
Very
Exactly.
true.
What a joyful episode. I love it. It's great
Yes.
stuff. I also want to, as a final thought from my side, give a shout out to all of our Cambridge Network staff that will be, on call and on duty during this Christmas period. They'll be working hard to provide a great service to our schools and to our families, to make sure that communication is in place, to make sure that we have great hosts and that students are still being looked after. So to all of those Cambridge Network colleagues of ours that are working so hard during this period, we appreciate you and thank you. You make Cambridge Network what it is. For all of our schools, students, families, agents, anybody interested in anything that we spoke about today, or if you have questions, reach out to your Cambridge Network rep. We're still, a week or so away from the real Christmas period, and we want to make sure that you guys are prepared. We have the answers for you. To all of our listeners, we appreciate you tuning in. Drop some questions, like, listen, subscribe, do all of those good things in the Christmas spirit, and we will catch you around the next episode of the Cambridge Network podcast. Bye-bye, everybody.